I gotta run to Lowe's and get some reflective material to cover the wall, and then I gotta run to the nursery and get some soil. But first, gotta stop at Panera and get a coffee.
The dried leaves and berries are ground up and made into cigarettes by a single-hand machine. The deadly narcotic is...
Yeah, that's me.
You're all set, sweetheart.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You have a wonderful day.
You too. Thank you. Oh yeah, dude. Man, people are grumpy today, dude. I was gonna like record like picking out the stuff that I got in Lowe's, but you could see I just got some of that insulation sheeting with foil in the back of the truck there. But man, it was like one guy was all pissed because this lady wasn't wearing a mask, and so he was like all grumpy and saying stuff out loud. And then like the lady who wasn't wearing a mask was like really grumpy too. She was on the phone with her husband. She was like yelling at her kids, and she's like yelling at her husband on the phone. And I was just like, oh, forget it. You guys don't want to hear that stuff. So anyways, now that I got this stuff from Lowe's, now I'm gonna head over to Louie's nursery down the street here and go get myself some soil and some clay pellets and stuff like that. One thing about Louie's nursery local to me is they've always got Fox Farm products just stacked up on pallets. So I got a couple of bags of Happy Frog. So I didn't find any of the clay pebbles, but I did get this big ass bag of perlite. Hey guys, I wanted to show you how I like to mix up my Nature's Living soil. In this case, I'm going to be using Happy Frog potting soil. And what I'm going to do is I'll mix this in with some, I guess I should have set that up properly before I hit record. What I'm going to do is I'm going to mix it in with some of that, and that's going to go on the bottom third of my pot. And then on the top 2/3, I'm just going to put the Happy Frog soil. And so the idea is that as soon as your roots reach down and hit that super soil compost down there, it's going to have everything that your plant is going to need for the rest of its life. So from sprout to harvest, this is a water only grow. I won't have to add any nutrients or anything like that. That's what I love about it, and it's fully organic. So let me show you how I mix that up. The first thing I'm going to do though is I'm going to mix my potting soil with some perlite to get a nice aerated mixture. So there's very good drainage. So let's go ahead and get started, and then once that's done, we'll mix this in and we'll put it in the pot. Oh, I'm gonna give you a fair warning right now. This stuff smells like a buffalo was walking through the Alabama heat and decided to take a shit on a skunk of roadkill that's already been sitting there for 2 weeks. And then you let that concoction sit for 2 weeks in the humid Alabama heat. That's reminds me of about what this stuff smells like, man. It's bad, but it's so good. All right, so I have no idea how precise and accurate this is, but this is the math that I came up with to mix my Nature's Living soil in my 3.9 gallon AutoPots. If you're just doing 5 gallon pots, it's pretty simple. You just add 1 pound, mix it in at the bottom 1/3, fill the rest up with your soil, you're done. But I've got 3.9 gallon pots, and I've got a layer of perlite with the air dome, so I'm probably only doing about 3 gallons. So I figured it's probably around 0.2 pounds per gallon based off of the instructions. So with a 3 gallon pot, which is basically what I'm doing, it's going to be about a little over a half of a gallon. So 0.6 pounds, or pounds, not gallon, 0.6 pounds per pot. So I'm going to mix up, I'm just going to do like 10 ounces of Nature's Living soil. I'm going to mix that with 1 gallon of my Happy Frog potting soil. That's going to go on the bottom, so the bottom third, okay? Then I'm just going to fill the rest up with Happy Frog potting soil, plant my seeds, and we're ready to roll. So what I'm going to do, I measured out my 10 ounces. I'm going to put it in my 5 gallon bucket. And I'm going to mix that with, this happens to be 1 gallon. So I'm gonna mix it with 1 gallon of the soil that I mixed up over here, the potting soil. And then we'll just mix this up really good, and this will go on the bottom of my pot. So here's the AutoPot that I was telling you about. I've got my layer of perlite in there with my air dome. So that soil I just mixed is going to go on the bottom third of this pot, and then I'll just fill the rest up with the potting soil. And then I'll just fill the rest of this up with my Happy Frog perlite mix over here. Just like so. We are now ready to hook this up and plant a seed in it. And that's it, it's as easy as that. So if you want to try this stuff out, you can go to naturslivingsoil.com, use the code AutoFlowerPodcast15, and you can save 15% on your order. Thanks for watching, guys. Check back in to see after I put my seeds in here and they sprout, and follow along on the journey with me. See ya.